I just hit my 7-year anniversary as a content creator, and to celebrate, I thought I would share 7 lessons I've learned in 7 years and what I wish I knew sooner. Hi, I'm Meaghan or MeaghyMouse, and I share how to live a magical lifestyle wherever you are. MeaghyMouse has existed in the YouTube space for about 10 months so far at the time of this video. But MeaghyMouse was born 7 years ago when I started my Instagram account. And I live in Pennsylvania, so as soon as Instagram started having this like Disney creator community, I was really inspired by them and I knew I wanted to create in that way. But there were a lot of challenges in my way. I've always been like very self-conscious, especially back then. Also, obviously the geographical location of me being in Philadelphia does not really directly compute to Disney content creation. These lessons are not Disney content creator specific. They are just kind of like growth related. Not just for content creation, but you'll see how that's impacted like other parts of my life as well. So hopefully you'll take something from this if you are a content creator or have thought about it, or if you're just looking for like personal growth and yeah, things like that. So we'll get into it with my number 1 lesson. These are in no particular order. Lesson number 1 is personal style isn't what you think it is. So when we think about personal style, people think about something they have to figure out what their personal style is, like find your personal style. And it's kind of true to an extent, but what I have learned is that your personal style isn't something you have to consciously think about. Social media, especially when I was starting out on Instagram in like 2018, things were still very like aesthetics based and like very curated. So social media wants you to be kind of like, what is your brand? Are you like a really like colorful creator, or are you very minimalist? Are you very into neutrals, or are you very maximalist? And I think when a lot of people are starting out, and certainly myself, I was always wondering like, okay, what type of content do I want to put out, and what type of aesthetic do I want to have? Specifically the aesthetic part, because there is some value to finding your niche. But when it comes to how things appear as far as your personal style is just that. It's whatever you like. It's less about confining yourself to like one rigid category and more so just picking things that resonate with you as a person, because you might think that those things are kind of chaotic and aren't cohesive. But as you compile them in your life and even your personal style, like, you know, things you wear, that does become its own style. And people will still say like, oh, that's so Meaghan, or that's so you. And I feel like that is such a special thing when people say that to you, because it's like very much like a I feel seen kind of thing, and to be seen is to be loved and understood. And another note about this, it also helps you to do things in a more sustainable way, because for instance, like home aesthetics, if you're like, oh, I want to decorate my living room a little more, and you find a picture on Pinterest of a living room you like, you might think, oh, this couch doesn't match that style, this lamp doesn't match that style. And so you might think you just have to like get everything new at once, but really you can start adding in pieces as you're finding them at like thrift stores or wherever you're looking. And that will be cohesive even if you think it's not. Pick things that resonate with you, even if you don't think they fit into like, you know, a specific picture you saw on Pinterest of like a living room that you like. If you're picking things that resonate with you, they are going to reflect who you are as a person, and that's going to come across as your personal style. My number 2 lesson is exposure therapy works for almost everything. Recording yourself is extremely awkward. Talking to your camera is extremely awkward. And doing that in public is even more awkward, and everybody hates their own voice, and everybody like sees a picture of them from the side and like hates their profile, like all of those things. But the only way to get past that awkwardness and to kind of like be okay with how you look and sound and things like that is to normalize that for yourself. So recording, the more you do it, the less awkward it's going to be. the more you see what your body looks like at different angles, the more normal that is going to be for you. And you'll also realize that like everyone in your life that loves you knows what you sound like, what you look like when you look great or when you don't, all of those things, and they love you anyways, or they should love you anyways. So give yourself like that same like grace, as cheesy as it sounds. Yeah, the more you take pictures and the more you just let yourself be seen as a person like creating content in public, the less awkward it's going to be. And honestly, the past 7 years have changed my abilities even beyond just like content creation. But being comfortable in my own skin has never been something that I have ever been. I was an extremely shy child. I like didn't talk a lot in like school or places I wasn't comfortable. And that has translated into adulthood in like my jobs that I've had. I have found myself over the years like holding back ideas because you don't want to seem dumb or like afraid to put things out there. Content creation has even made me feel like more confident and bold in other areas of my life that I was not anticipating at all when I started this 7 years ago. Again, it's all about exposure therapy to how you look and how you sound and how you appear. And the only way to do that is to just keep doing it, and it will feel more normal the more you do it. And let's be real, I'm standing in my bedroom right now talking to my cell phone. Like that's extremely awkward, and I feel like my windows are open so like people could see into my room right now if they're walking down the street. It's a whole thing. But yeah, it's worth it. The number 3 lesson that I've learned in 7 years of content creation is to be bad before you're good. So your first YouTube video, my first YouTube video, your first reel, my first reel, they're gonna suck. Like there's no way around that. Editing is hard. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of things to learn. Like figuring out like what types of shots you like and like what types of edits you like, what types of like filters or like coloring that you like. That's all gonna take time. But if you're waiting until you figured those things out to start creating, you're never gonna figure those things out. You do kind of have to like start creating things, and then you figure that out along the way. You have to be willing to create content that you don't feel like is perfect, or you may not feel like is your best work, and just like keep moving forward. And I think another part of this, kind of like a sub lesson that I've learned within this, or observation I should say, is that a lot of people like delete their own old content or kind of like badmouth it. And sure, like if I was putting out my first reel again today, I wouldn't be proud about it, but like helped me like hone my style and like what I'm looking to create moving forward. So how can I be mad about that? And that also goes beyond like all of these lessons, that goes beyond just content creation. I started a new job about 7 months ago, and that's helped me so much. That mindset has helped me so much in my resiliency. Like it's okay that I'm not doing a great job a month into my new job, as long as I'm trying and then like learning, applying the things that I learn and like moving that forward, then that's all you can ask of yourself. And you will be very grateful that being bad at something didn't make you stop doing it, because that's the only way to get better. My number 4 lesson is you're not too old and it is not too late. That's kind of a cliche that's been on like memes and, kind of like self-care quotes kind of thing, but it's a cliche for a reason. I was 28 when I started out as MeaghyMouse, and at 28 in the Disney community, I already kind of felt like aged out. At the time, a lot of people that create Disney content are like Disney college program students, so they're early 20s or even younger than that. And so I kind of even felt too old at 28, and that sounds ridiculous now because I'm 35. So again, it's kind of goes back to that you have to just start. Today is the youngest you're going to be for the rest of your life. So if there is something you've been thinking about doing or something you can't put outside of your head, start it right now. Even if you think you're already like past your prime or like the moment has passed, if it's still something you want to do, just do it. Just try it. The time is going to pass either way. 5 years from now, I'm going to be 40 regardless of what I do between now and then. So if I feel too old for something at 35, waiting isn't going to make me feel less old. I'm really glad 28-year-old me started this because 35-year-old me has learned so much from it and it has given me a lot of joy. So yeah, you're not too old and it's definitely not too late. Number 5 lesson was a very big one and continues to be a lesson I learn every day, sometimes regress. It's one of those things. That number 5 lesson is your body is the least interesting thing about you, and I would, in parentheses, just wear it. I've spent so much of my time, so much of my life thinking that certain outfits weren't things that I could wear because of my body, or waiting for my body, like, oh, if I just get to this size, or if I just feel this confident way about my arms, I'll wear this outfit. Don't postpone your joy for some version of you that doesn't exist yet. It's okay to like work towards goals, or if you have, obviously live a healthy life as much as you can, but don't feel like your version of yourself today isn't worthy of feeling cute, feeling confident, wearing clothes that you feel express how you want to appear to the world, or that you have to wait for a version of you that doesn't exist yet in order to be the person you want to be. Clothes should fit your body, not the other way around. And like the sub lesson underneath that for me was also don't hold on to clothes that don't fit anymore because you're waiting to be able to fit into them again. That doesn't make you feel good. If shame and guilt worked, it would work already. Your body as it is right now is worthy of joy and self-expression in how you dress and how you want to appear to the world. So do that. My 6th lesson that I've learned in the past 7 years is to kill the part of you that cringes. If I could give people younger than me or my peers or people older than me any piece of advice, it would be to be cringy and to be earnest. In the world we live in, and especially on social media, it's very like, I would say cool and acceptable to be very jaded and kind of even negative about yourself, but really that is just a fear of being vulnerable. Being creative and being authentic is vulnerable because the more you're creating and putting out there, the more you're opening yourself up to be made fun of, be called cringy, all of the above. So don't miss out on what you want to create and what you want to do. I feel like being cool or being jaded is a very much a defense mechanism because if you're not putting yourself out there, you can't be critiqued. But creativity is really the more brave way to be because, again, you're putting yourself out there to anyone to watch this video that has access to YouTube, and that is extremely scary. So all of these lessons you'll kind of see are kind of intertwined because even this lesson it goes back to that like exposure therapy. In a way, you're performing exposure therapy for yourself as far as like rejection is concerned. You can put out videos and they flop. You can put out videos and people make fun of you. So it really has helped me again with like self-confidence and being okay with rejection, all of those things. And I could not have imagined that that's what I would have learned in 7 years as a content creator. Not what I expected to get out of this is what I'll say, but I'm so glad I did. And then my number 7 lesson is don't let your dreams be dreams. And also you don't have to always monetize your dreams. So like I alluded to at the beginning, when I started this MeaghyMouse account, I had no idea how I could create Disney content when I lived nowhere near the parks. And I didn't really have any ideas of what my content would look like. But I did get inspired the longer I kept creating content. So that kind of goes back to the idea of just starting, even if you don't know, like I didn't even know what my first 5 posts were going to be, but I knew it was something I wanted to do and I was tired of life passing me by. Sub note to this, I'm a huge fan of the music from Hello Dolly, which you'll probably know if you've spent any time on Main Street USA, you'll at least know the melodies of those tunes. But there is a song in Hello Dolly called Before the Parade Passes By, and it's about yeah, like not letting life pass you by, or if you feel like you have sat out for any period of your life and you're watching either your peers or other people do things you always wanted to do, or just not even other people doing it, but you just know that you aren't doing things that you want to do. So don't let your dreams be dreams. Don't let the parade pass you by. Just be fully engaged in your life and what you want to do. And don't wait for the perfect conditions for yourself or your abilities. Just start in some way and see what comes of it. The other part of that is, I would say, don't expect to create content as your job. Obviously, in some ways, that parade has passed by, in the sense of like, the influencer era is not what it used to be, and it's very saturated. So it's not going to be something that you should be doing to make money on, and it's not something you should be doing to like get a ton of followers. It's really has to be something you're doing because you want to do, as a creative outlet, or because of any of these other benefits that I've talked about. And it has been, for me, a personal project, and has become a personal passion project that has done more for my brain and like a lot of areas of my life than anything has. So in closing, I will say to anyone who has ever followed, commented, liked, shared any of my posts on MeaghyMouse, like that community within the Disney community really is special. And I've made, internet friends that I've met in real life in all areas of the country and the world. And I think that's just really special. So if you're thinking of starting your own creative journey in some way, whether that be content creation or some other, facet of life, just do it. Hopefully this has inspired you in some way. And I hope you'll follow along for the next 7 years of whatever I get up to as MeaghyMouse. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it or any of it resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And please give this video a thumbs up, and I'd be so appreciative if you should decide to subscribe, and I'll see you real soon.